I married her believing in love. Not the fleeting, shallow kind you see in movies, but the quiet, steady love that feels like coming home. She was captivating, graceful, elegant, and seemingly sincere. At the time, I thought I had found my soulmate. Little did I know, I was stepping into a world where affection was a currency, and I was merely a means to an end. From the start, subtle signs appeared. She admired the car I drove more than the man behind the wheel. She smiled at the house I owned rather than the life we could build together. I dismissed it as superficiality, thinking love could overcome vanity. But love, I would later learn, can blind you to truths that are otherwise impossible to ignore. She introduced me to her friends, who were equally enamored with wealth and influence. Invitations to parties and galas came constantly, and she thrived in those circles. I watched her glow under the attention, feeling a mixture of pride and unease. I wanted to trust her, to believe that she loved me for me. But a quiet voice inside my head whispered that this was not the foundation of a marriage built to last. As months passed, it became clear. The decisions she made, the way she spoke about me to others, even the casual mentions of my work or connections, all pointed to a singular pattern. She wasn't with me because of who I was. She was with me because of what I could provide, the status, the comfort, the doors that opened simply by association. My heart ached, but I held my tongue. I could have confronted her. I could have shouted, demanded answers, and exposed her intentions. But I chose silence. I watched, listened, and let her believe she was in control, that she had manipulated me, and that she had won. There is a certain power in restraint, and I needed to see how far the charade would go before reality caught up with her. She began to flaunt our lifestyle more openly. Expensive gifts, lavish dinners, and exotic vacations became her way of showing off. Each act was calculated, each smile measured. To anyone else, it might have looked like happiness, but I knew the truth. I was not her partner, I was her prop. And I let her perform, because I wanted the curtain to fall at the perfect moment. The turning point came during a party she had insisted on hosting at our home. She welcomed everyone with charm, laughter, and grace, all while subtly reminding them, and herself, of the life she had acquired by being my wife. I stood to the side, silent, observing every gesture, every word, every glance. She thought she was untouchable. She thought she had conquered everything. But life has a way of exposing the fragile foundations of deception. One night, as she boasted about our wealth to a friend, she mentioned a deal she claimed I had orchestrated. That deal didn't exist. She had been weaving lies to elevate herself, unaware that I had been keeping meticulous records of everything, financial, personal, and social. The illusion she had built began to crack in ways she could not control. I confronted her the next morning, not with anger, but with a calm precision that unsettled her completely. I revealed the truth, piece by piece, the lies, the manipulation, the calculated charm. She watched as her carefully constructed world unraveled, the power she thought she had slipping through her fingers like sand. And in that moment, I saw fear in her eyes, the first honest emotion she had shown since our marriage began. She tried to argue, to charm her way out, but it was too late. The facade was gone. I had allowed her to believe victory, to taste the illusion of control, only to dismantle it with truth. It wasn't revenge, at least not the kind that seeks satisfaction in destruction. It was reality, inevitable, unyielding, and final. In the weeks that followed, she became a shadow of herself. The confidence, the arrogance, the carefree indulgence, all of it vanished. She had married for status and power, but in doing so, she had underestimated the one thing that could not be bought, discernment. I had given her the stage, and she had danced, but I had also prepared the curtain for the final act. Now, I live with clarity. I no longer wonder if she loved me. The answer is irrelevant. What matters is that truth has a way of arriving, whether quietly or with force. I allowed her to think she had won, to believe in her triumph, but reality has a way of humbling even the most confident hearts. And in that silence, in that undeniable truth, I found my own peace. Did this story touch your heart? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more hearts can feel these stories too.